Welcome to the channel. I'm Tony the Technician. Today we're going to be going into a MichaelPro product. Today, a very simple one, but a very useful one. So this is the non-powered brake bleeder. And this can be used as a two-person method or the one-person method. So I'm going to show you how to make this two-person brake bleeder into a one-person brake bleeder. And you can also use this with a pneumatic brake bleeder as well, but it can also be used as a standalone. So it is very nice. It's very affordable, and a lot of the other one-man brake bleeders out there, some of them aren't even true one-man brake bleeders, or I guess they are, but they're not properly designed to keep air out. Some of them don't have a hose that's internal in the bottle, and then a lot of those one-man brake bleeder kits, the bottle is like a shot glass. So after pumping your brakes one time, two times, you basically got to empty the thing. So it just doesn't make any sense. But this one, it's a decent size, it's extremely handy, very easy to set up, and will allow you to do your brakes all by yourself at an affordable cost. And I really hope you guys enjoy. If you guys do, please make sure to smash that thumbs up, leave a comment down below of your guys' thoughts. And as always, if you guys haven't subscribed, please make sure to subscribe. And I will have this linked down in the description for you guys, but let's go ahead and take a look. All right, so today I'm gonna be going into the MichaelPro non-power brake bleeder. So there are a few different options out there for brake bleeding. You can come up with your own, which I've done. You can use the pneumatic hand pump ones. I personally do not recommend those. I can't stand those things. I own one and it is complete garbage, especially if you're doing a brake flush or cleaning. Like, to get the air out with one of those is a joke. Then they have pneumatic ones as well that you can hook up to an air compressor. Some of them will have the pneumatic pump back here, which pulls the brake fluid from the reservoir through the lines to the container. And then you have another design where you actually have a container like this that you hook up to the brake bleeder. And then you have one that is pneumatically operated from up at the reservoir that then pushes the fluid back instead of pulling it from back here, and it pushes it into a container like this. So there are a few different options out there. I like to keep it as simple and cheap as possible because I don't do these all the time, especially at home. I do it on this car primarily. Anytime I make changes, whether I did a new proportioning valve or did new brake lines. I've done a lot with the brakes on this car, and I found it just keep it simple. And before, I made my own, and that's because a lot of companies that would sell the one-man brake bleeder, it was like a container like this big. There's no point in that because that's gonna fill up every single time I do a brake rotor, whether that be the back right, front right, whatever. I'm gonna have to empty it every single time. So if you guys don't know what the one-man brake bleeder is, I'll show you guys. We're not gonna bleed the brakes just because I've already done it on the car and they're really good right now. But I'm gonna show you kind of the idea behind it. Now, this is set up right now as a two-man brake bleeder. So you have your rubber attachment. I'll bring you guys up close here in just a second. You have your rubber attachment that then fits over your bleeder valve or your bleeder screw that you push it down over top of. Then you have your flexible hose. You have a fitting here, the container and a hook so you can hang this on something, whatever it may be. And then on the inside, it's just an empty container. So basically at this point, if you're going to do the two-man brake bleeding method, you would connect your fitting like so. Then what you're going to do is you're going to have your friend or yourself sit at the back of the vehicle or wherever you have this connected. Somebody's going to go in the vehicle, they're going to pump the brakes and then hold the brake pedal down. They're going to say release or open, and they're going to crack this bleeder valve or bleeder screw. It's going to then allow the brake fluid to push through the hose and into the bottle while the person in the car is still holding firmly on the brake. Do not release the brake. When the brake pedal hits the floor and can't go any further, they'll say shut, the person back here shuts the bleeder valve, not allowing any air to get back into the brake system. Then once this bleeder is closed, they can then pump the brakes again and then press firmly on the brake pedal, say open, and then this person is going to break the bleeder valve open again, allow the fluid to flow again until they see no bubbles coming through this hose. Now once they see no bubbles, they'll say close, this person will tighten the bleeder screw, and then the brakes will be good. You move on to the next one. Every time you do one and you move on to the next one, always check your reservoir to make sure that it is not running out of brake fluid, because if you run out of brake fluid in your reservoir, then you have to start the whole process all over again because you introduced air from the front of the vehicle. So that's if you have two people. Now, if you want to use this as a one-person brake bleeder, this is the primary reason I was interested in this one, because it has a big container, unlike the other one-man brake bleeders that are tiny little bottles. It's very simple to do with this. So let's go ahead and take a look. So with this, like I showed you guys, you have your fitting that goes over the bleeder screw. You have your flexible hose. You have this little hose fitting, the bottle and hook. Very simple. Remove the lid, set the bottle down. You then have a nut that's holding this hose barb on. I've already loosened mine. Remove the nut. There's going to be a washer, and there's going to be a washer on the bottom as well. Push that fitting out the bottom, catch the washer and the hose barb. Take all of that and put it somewhere else. You don't need it. What you're going to do now is simply take the hose and feed it through this hole. Bring enough of the hose that it will reach the bottom of the container. Make sure that it can sit in the bottom of the container. And what you're going to do before you begin bleeding the brakes is you're going to pour a couple ounces of brake fluid into this container. Then you're going to place the hose and lid on. There you can see the hose touching the bottom of the bottle. It will be submerged in new clean brake fluid. Now you can go connect to your bleeder valve or bleeder screw. Now you're connected to your bleeder. So how I do this, on the driver's side, I can lean out the car and see the bottle and hose. So when I'm doing the driver's side, it's no big deal. When I'm doing the passenger side, I will actually set my phone up like I am now, but zoomed in on the hose, and I will record as I'm doing this process so then I can watch the video. So what you do here, since you have fluid in the bottom of this bottle, it's not going to allow you to, when you release the brake pedal, to suck air back into the system. So since it's only you go in the vehicle. Well, first you break the bleeder screw loose right now. Some fluid will probably start to come out. You then go inside the vehicle, start pumping the brakes. I usually pump it 6 to 8 times. And on the driver's side, I'll watch as I'm pumping the brake. I'll kind of lean out and look. If you can't because your vehicle's larger or something's in the way, then you can set up the camera on that side as well. Pump the brake 6 to 8 times. And if you can't see, stop after pumping 6 to 8 times, go back, close the bleeder screw, watch the video, see if there's bubbles coming out. If there are bubbles still coming out, go ahead and open this bleeder screw again, go back in the vehicle, pump it 6 to 8 more times, come back, close it, check the video, see if there's any bubbles. If there's no bubbles, you're good, leave it closed, remove it, and move on to the next wheel. The reason you put fluid back in this bottle when you start out is so when you're pumping the brake, you're pushing and releasing. Normally when you would release, if this hose isn't sitting in fluid, then it's going to pull air back in through the hose and into your brake lines. So having fluid in the bottle prevents, you'll still have some air in the hose, but once you pump the pedal, it should have enough brake fluid in here to prevent it going all the way back the first time. So you don't usually have to worry about it. The fluid is just there just in case, so it's not sucking a bunch of air in. And once you proceed to do this and you get no air bubbles, then you move on to the next one. And I just set my phone up and I show it recording the fluid flowing through the hose until I see no bubbles. And then you can store it just like so. So even though this is kind of set up with that hose barb to be a 2-man brake bleeder, or for this to be used with another pneumatic brake bleeder, this can be used as a 1-person brake bleeder, and it's large enough that you can do your whole brake system with this bottle. And don't forget, anytime you get done with one and you move on to the next, always check your reservoir to make sure that it is not empty or getting low, and just top it back off. So that is the MichaelPro non-power brake bleeder set up for a 1-person brake bleed. Let me know your guys' thoughts. I actually used to use a Mountain Dew bottle with just a hose similar to this. This is a little bit nicer, and it's pretty affordable. So that's the MichaelPro brake bleeder. I really hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, please feel free to drop a comment down below. And as always, if you guys haven't subscribed, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.